مشاهدينا في كل مكان، احنا معاكم هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعادة اللواء السفير توبلي لوبايا سفير جمهورية زامبيا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. في لقاء اليوم هنتحدث عن تاريخ العلاقات ما بين زامبيا وجمهورية مصر العربية، فابقوا معنا وتابعونا.
This is my first posting in diplomatic service, and Egypt is my first diplomatic mission as an ambassador. But I served in India as a defense attaché for 1 year in 2010 to 2011. Zambia is a country that is found in central southern Africa and in the sub-Saharan region. It is 750,000 square kilometers. Most of it arable land, and Zambia is one of the African countries that is producing high-grade semi-precious stones. We have green tourmaline, we have amethyst, we have others that are mixed in the. Actually, they have found markets all over the world. Yes, this is another attraction that under tourism. We have various traditional dances that are observed maybe during initiation ceremonies when the young girls become mature or become of age, or during weddings.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، احنا معاكم النهارده هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعادة اللواء السفير توبلي لوبايا سفير جمهورية زامبيا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. Your Excellency, thank you so much for having us for the second time.
Thank you so much, and I thank the people that are following us on the TV.
Your Excellency, we would like to talk in this episode about the history of relations between Egypt and Zambia. So please give us a hint about it.
Thank you so much. I'll start off by saying thank you to Egypt for being the first country to recognize Zambia in 1964 when we got our independence. And from there on, our political bilateral relations started. Came January 1965, both countries opened full-fledged diplomatic missions here in Cairo and in Zambia. And from there on to date, we have had a very good relationship between the two countries in terms of political diplomacy. Building on from our founding fathers, we have had 7 presidents that have come in leadership, and all of them, they have related extremely well with Egyptian presidents. To date, we are enjoying these bilateral relations because of our founding fathers and the subsequent presidents that came on board.
That's great.
Further on, we have also now embarked on economic diplomacy, which is the main thing for many of the countries across the globe. Because having attained our political independence, now we are trying to ensure that we get our economic independence so that there's development that can uplift the lives of people in our respective countries.
Talking about the economy, it makes me spread more or faster the question about the trading between Egypt, the volume of trading between Egypt and Zambia. So how much is the volume of trading between Egypt and Zambia now? And how it was before?
Yes, the trade between Zambia and Egypt is growing from strength to strength, especially with the coming in of Egypt on the common market for Eastern and Southern Africa, that is COMESA. Egypt has contributed greatly to the growth of the organization, to the point where COMESA is one of the very successful organizations in terms of trade. Of course, there is a lot more that needs to be done right now to ensure that the balance of trade favors both Zambia and Egypt. We have been trading in some of the issues, some of the areas, but I can attest in this interview that we have been promoting for the last 10 years to make sure that the business forums, people come together, we understand each other more. Where we have strength, we should be able to export. Where Egypt has strength, they should be able to export to Zambia. That is what is required right now, and we are really working round the clock to make sure that the trade volumes should increase to the expectations required of the two countries.
Your Excellency, what are the important products that you are aiming to import and export between the two countries?
Yes, from Zambia, we are mainly exporting copper products. We are also exporting food or agriculture products. But from Egypt, we are getting fertilizers, we are getting also processed foods, we are getting building materials, we are getting many other areas like chemicals that are required in industry. Yes.
Going back to the cultural cooperation, so how it is now, the cultural cooperation between the two countries?
The cultural cooperation is also one area that has really a good interest. From time immemorial, when we just became politically independent, we were trying to learn each other's culture. You know that Egypt belongs to, it's an African country, but it has a leg in the Middle East. But for sub-Saharan Africa, we have also different culture. And therefore, to make sure that we understand each other, there's been exchange of visits by cultural groups participating in some of the events that are being organized, like here in Egypt, where some Zambian cultural groups have come, and also Egyptian cultural groups are always invited during trade fairs that are taking place in Zambia. Yes, I was saying we have been having people, cultural groups that are coming to perform during Zambia's trade fairs, agriculture shows, and by so doing, we are learning quite a lot from what Egyptians are able to do. And then Zambians, they have participated here in 2015, that was a major one, where we had a cultural group and some people that participated in what you call Sama, where you listen, music, and to demonstrate what we are able to do. Poetry and other events like where we see what we call these exhibitions that are normally done here in Egypt. People have come from Zambia to see what takes place here.
جمهورية زامبيا وعاصمتها لوساكا، دولة غير ساحلية تقع في جنوب القارة الأفريقية، مساحتها حوالي 752 ألف كيلومتر مربع، وعدد سكانها يزيد عن 16 مليون نسمة. تحيط بزامبيا 8 دول، وهي أنغولا، الكونغو الديمقراطية، تنزانيا، موزمبيق، ملاوي، زيمبابوي، بوتسوانا وناميبيا. اللغة الرسمية في زامبيا هي الإنجليزية، بجانب عدد من اللغات الإقليمية، والمسيحية هي الديانة الرئيسية بالبلاد. أكبر مدن زامبيا بخلاف العاصمة نادولا وكيتوي وكابوي وشانكور. تشتهر زامبيا بالعديد من الأكلات الشعبية، ومنها النشيمة التي تشكل المكون الرئيسي في الوجبات اليومية وتصنع من دقيق الذرة البيضاء. يوجد في زامبيا 2 من الأنهار الكبرى، نهر الزامبيزي وهو رابع وأطول نهر في أفريقيا، حيث يمر ب6 دول، ويشتهر بشلالات فيكتوريا التي تعتبر من أكبر الشلالات في العالم. يوجد أيضاً نهر الكونغو في الشمال، والذي يعد ثاني أطول أنهار أفريقيا بعد نهر النيل. من أهم المحاصيل الزراعية الذرة الشامية والفول السوداني والقطن وقصب السكر والقهوة. أهم موارد زامبيا الطبيعية النحاس والكوبالت والزنك والفحم والزمرد والذهب والفضة واليورانيوم. ويعتمد الاقتصاد في زامبيا على صناعة تعدين النحاس، وتشمل الصناعات المحلية الزمرد وأعمال البناء والصناعات الغذائية والكيماويات والمنسوجات والأسمدة.
Your Excellency, how do you read the visit of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to Zambia 2023, the importance of this visit and also the reflection of it on the relations between the two countries, especially in the field of investment?
I want to start by appreciating the President of Egypt, His Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, for undertaking a visit to Zambia. It really demonstrated the relationship that Zambia enjoys with Egypt, to start with. He was the first Egyptian president to visit Zambia. In terms of increasing or promoting investments, they had 2 days of discussions in Zambia. I attended that visit. It was quite encouraging, where the president talked about trading amongst African countries. He took advantage to meet other African member states of the COMESA to ensure that they agree on how they can increase trade amongst ourselves, also investments among the African countries within the COMESA region, as we prepare to transit into the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement.
That's great.
So this was really a good step that the president did, and all of them at the end, when they issued a communique, it spoke about trading and increasing investments ourselves, so that as Africans we can develop ourselves. No one is going to improve our own resources that we have in abundance. And President Sisi demonstrated, he was always saying, you know, Africa is for Africans, as the African Union saying, and he said, let us look within the continent to make sure that we don't leave anyone behind. We should improve on the road infrastructure. We should improve on communications, so that together we are moving under a very good environment to develop our continent.
So I read from your talking that the most important field of investment is going to be in the field of technology and others. What else of fields of investment that we are looking forward, inshallah, to have?
It's a whole range of sectors. When we look around in Egypt in terms of infrastructure development, you have demonstrated that it's doable. You established a new administrative capital. There are thousands and millions of housing projects that we have seen. The road infrastructure that has mushroomed in Egypt. This is what everyone is talking about. Why can't we go to our founding fathers that talked about Cape to Cairo connectivity? Having communication in terms of road network from Cape Town to Cairo, so that it is easy to conduct our business. So other than infrastructure development, we are talking about energy. We need our countries to be well lit. When we have energy, it means if setting up industries, it will be easy, so that we are able to process all the other resources that we have to finish the products and then export them abroad.
Your Excellency, is there any cooperation in the field of agricultural researches between the two countries?
Yes, we have been having experts in agriculture coming in for training here in Egypt. to increase our efficiency in doing business in terms of agriculture. But most importantly, we have a joint venture farm between Zambia and Egypt that is so successful, and actually it's being used as an example of what can be done together. We started with the research, mango growing, oranges and other fruits. Today we are talking of a 2,000 hectare farm with the center pivots where we are producing corn, we are producing soybeans, and also they are trying wheat. So that is one very successful project, and I think in terms of agriculture we are good to go.
And what about the irrigation system? You said already there is a research cooperation in this field between the two countries.
Yes, Zambia is trying to get expertise from Egypt in terms of water harvesting and the maximum usage of water through irrigations. Mm-hmm. We notice that here you have only one river, but you are able to do a lot in terms of agriculture. Mm. So we do send in people to come and learn on the drip irrigation, center pivots, and indeed even in the canals in some places where you may have difficulties to get certain material, construction of canals so that the crops can be watered from there. Mm-hmm. That is what is really being done, and water harvesting, so that we don't lose the water that we receive from nature. Mm-hmm. And that is something that is being worked on right now between the two countries.
Your Excellency, I'd like also to ask you about cooperation in the field of health.
Yes, in the field of health, we have limitations in terms of the infrastructure that we have. So we're asking Egypt and other countries to put in a new modern infrastructure in terms of medicine, mm-hmm. medical facilities. Yeah. And also we are very impressed with the pharmaceutical industry that is available here in Egypt. Mm-hmm. And Zambia even managed to get the essential medicines from Egypt from 2023. To date, we are still receiving the medicines from here. It's very good, and it's working out very well.
And what about the education field? Is there any kind of cooperation between the two countries in this field?
Education field, yes. Zambia has been having their students being trained here in Egypt as an exchange program that was agreed way back in 2008. And since then, we have been having 15 students every year coming to Egypt in fields of medicine, pharmacy, engineering, political science, so that at least we have trained manpower to add on to the existing personnel in the country.
And the field of tourism?
Field of tourism, it is one that was just signed recently, and we are working round the clock to make sure that we also gain the number of tourists that come in the country. Egypt is home to the Great Giza pyramids and many other pyramids, whereas Zambia is home to one of the 7 wonders of the world, the mighty Victoria Falls. Mm-hmm. And we have over 100 waterfalls that are not yet explored. We have many other areas that really can attract. We have 20 game reserve areas and 36, 20 game parks and 36 game reserve areas. We have all the big 5 in terms of wildlife. And so if one was to go to Zambia, he will get a full package in terms of tourism. So right now we are learning on how we can increase and collaborate with Egypt to make sure that we can get tour operators to get some of the tourists that come to Egypt to go to Zambia. Mm-hmm. And those that go to Zambia also should be able to come and see for themselves what is available here in Egypt. I've had the chance to go to some of the tourist spots like Luxor, Aswan, Sharm el-Sheikh. You have really what it takes. And if we can just tap to what you have, we are going to increase our tourist arrivals.
final question is going to be about the Egyptian cuisine and your favorite dish in it. And is there any similarities between some of the dishes here in Egypt and in Zambia?
The Egyptian cuisines, they are quite delicious. I have had the chance to really taste quite a number of them, although the names are very difficult to pronounce. I've taken koshari. I've been taking these vegetables that are normally small vegetables that you wrap.
ورق عنب?
Yes,
Oh,
and
okay.
then you also the pigeons, the fish, different types of fish. It's just, and then what is interesting is Morocco. Morocco, you take it as soup, and we grow it as it is grown naturally in Zambia. But here I've seen that it is grown in gardens. So it is one thing that we are learning to make sure that we can also start growing it at a larger scale.
That's great.
Yes.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for the 2 episodes that you gave us, all the information that you shared with us in it, and wish you all the best here in Egypt. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our tourism motto is Zambia, let's explore. There is a lot more that you can find in Zambia that will interest the Egyptians or tourists that would like to visit Zambia. Zambia should be one of the destinations that people must come and see. Thank you.
كده مشاهدينا في كل مكان انتهى لقائنا مع سعادة اللواء السفير توبلي لوبايا سفير جمهورية زامبيا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. بشكركم على هذا اللقاء وحسن متابعتكم ليا، وإلى لقاء آخر.